Hey Animal Crossers, and welcome back to Meowopolis, my vanilla Animal Crossing island. My plans are to transform this island into a thriving city full of only cat villagers. I say that this island is vanilla because I've challenged myself to no time traveling or cheats like Treasure Islands. If you like Animal Crossing videos, you're in luck because I post daily shorts and weekly videos, so be sure to subscribe and join your fellow Animal Crossers. And if you haven't watched the first monthly update, be sure to do so before this one. So I've officially survived my second month on Meowopolis Island, and here's how it went. I started off month 2 with the island's first KK Slider concert, which subsequently allowed me to unlock terraforming tools. I was really excited for this moment because usually this is the part where we can start designing the island, and I was so ready to start constructing the city of Meowopolis. Decorating is my favorite part of this game, and as much as I've been enjoying logging into this island to do daily chores and whatnot, I have just been itching to start shaping this place into a city with roads and different buildings and functional areas. My island is really unorganized right now, and it is definitely bothering me. I just want to start getting some sort of layout and organization going, but I said usually this would be the time where we could start doing all of that because this time we're actually not ready, and we literally cannot start doing anything. It was week 5 on the island, and Mabel still had only visited once. Okay, I think that maybe she actually visited twice, but she did not ask to build the clothing shop either time, so we do not have a clothing shop on this island, and without the clothing shop we can't download custom designs, and without custom designs we can't download my road pathway, which I really need to start designing the city. So week 5 ended up being another pretty slow and casual week on Meowopolis. I spent my time collecting resources, paying off my home loans, and just making general progress on the goals that I have for this island, like finishing my museum and all of the Nook Miles achievements. I should be talking to my villagers more, but I found it pretty hard to stay on top of that. The villager dialogue in New Horizons gets boring very fast. I mean, the villagers are repeating the same dialogues within one day of moving onto the island. Not to mention that each villager within a personality type shares the same lines. I don't know who thought that that would be a good idea. I know that there are over 400 Animal Crossing villagers, but come on, they could at least have a little bit more variety. Interacting with the villagers just feels so shallow in this game. I was able to go on my first cap and boat tour this week, which was really exciting because I found my very first gyroid fragment. I took it back to my island immediately and I watered it, and I got my very first gyroid the next day. Look at how cute! I'm really excited about this because I want to make some sort of display area on my island where I put all 36 of the gyroids. I think it would be so fun, and now we are one step closer. The museum was hosting the stamp rally during this week, so unlocking Brewster in the museum cafe was on hold and I had to wait. But another highlight from this week was getting to play more at nighttime. I usually play during the early mornings, not really for any specific reason, it's just my routine. So I hadn't got the chance until now to catch some of the bugs that only come out at night. And speaking of bugs, Flick came to my island for the first time this week as well, so I got my very first butterfly model. By the end of the week, I was feeling pretty disappointed because Mabel was still nowhere to be found. I really thought that she would show up this week, but she did not. I've never seen an island reach 3 stars and progress this far without the clothing shop. Like, is this normal? Even the Nook's Cranny upgrade was initiated this week. The shop went under construction and I got the bigger store with better item choice, which was great, but all I cared about at this point was getting the clothing shop to Meowopolis, and I can't believe that we got the upgraded Nook's Cranny before that. So I ended week 5 feeling a little bit disappointed. The first thing I did on the 6th week of Meowopolis was start the process of unlocking the roost. The museum stamp rally had officially ended and Blathers could now ask me to find Brewster. I went and found him, completed the quest, and the cafe opened pretty early on in the week. I enjoyed my first cup of coffee from Brewster, which was so wholesome, and it kind of put me in a better mood after the disappointment of not unlocking the clothing store. Celeste appeared on my island and I got to witness 2 meteor showers back to back during the beginning of this week as well. I was so happy about this, although I wish Celeste had a bigger role in the game. It was still great to see her though, and I got my first wand recipe. As I approached the end of the week, I started to grow more and more nervous about Mabel visiting, but luckily after 6 long weeks of avoiding my island, Mabel finally visited again at the end of this week, and this time she asked to build a clothing store. I can't describe how relieved I was. I was starting to think that my game was glitched or something and that she would never come back. So next week the shop will open and construction on Meowopolis will begin. And don't think that week 6 ends here. No, it got even better. In a shocking new development, Myra asked to move away from Meowopolis. She had just moved in not too long ago, so I was seriously not expecting this. I did give her last place in my rabbit ranking TikTok video, so maybe she had just had enough of me. So next week there will be a villager hunt, and I'm so excited about that. This week also marks the beginning of June and the start of the summer season, which in my opinion is the best time of year to play Animal Crossing. The weather is perfect, the summer shells are out, and it is shark season. Sharks come out after 4 p.m. during the summer months, except for whale sharks. They can spawn in at any time, and catching them is the perfect way to make bells pretty quickly. My technique is to start at one side of the beach and go all the way around my island's beach perimeter and back and forth, just doing this over and over, catching any sharks along the way. If I want to only catch sharks, I will scare away any of the other fish type, but most of the time I just catch all the fish. This helped me so much as I spent the evenings this week earning bells and making progress on my home loan, and I also was making progress on my museum collection. In fact, I've already caught half of the fish in the game, so I'm really happy about that. Not only is it summer in-game, but it's also summer outside. The days are getting longer, the sun's out later, and while I love that, it's definitely been messing with my sleep schedule. Luckily, Manta Sleep, the sponsor of today's video, sent me a Manta Silk sleep mask in the sunset pink color, and I have been using it every night since I got it, and it's honestly making such a huge difference for me. Not only does it help block out the light and keep me asleep longer, but it's also helping me fall asleep way faster. I have this really bad habit of doom scrolling on my phone in bed at night, just going from social media app to social media app. Sometimes I go down a rabbit hole reading your comments, but now I've just been putting this mask on as soon as I lay down, and because I literally can't see anything with it on, I'm not tempted to reach for my phone. I've been falling asleep quicker and waking up way more rested. My partner's been using the Manta Pro mask. He's a side sleeper and he loves how comfortable it is, especially the way the eye cups are shaped so nothing presses on his eyes. And my silk mask is like that too. It is seriously so comfy. Both of the masks are super adjustable. They just feel so nice and soft too. They come with earplugs and a carrying case, which is great because you can travel with them very easily. And the mask even received a sniff of approval from Rusty, which is a pretty big deal. If you want to check Manta Sleep out and maybe try a sleep mask for yourself, you can visit mantasleep.com and use my code TIGER for 10% off. I also tagged the mask that me and my partner use in this video. Thank you again to Manta Sleep for sponsoring today's video. Week 7 started with an open plot since Myra moved off the island. I managed to save up 9 Nook Miles tickets, and I went on a small, humble villager hunt. Any cat villagers will immediately be invited to the island, and I won't be accepting any other villager species. Like I've said many times, and if you haven't noticed why I named this island Meowopolis, I want this city island to be cat themed, and I want every villager to be a cat. And if we did not find a cat, the plan was to just let the plot autofill for one last shot at getting one. On island number 1, we found Sheldon the squirrel. Island number 2 had Walt the kangaroo. The villager on island number 3 was Zoe. I love her so much, she's so underrated. On island number 4 was Anacotti. Island number 5, Biddy. I found Marshall on island number 6, Rhonda on island number 7, Graham on number 8, and for the last ticket on island number 9, the villager was Plucky, who is also not a cat. Don't worry, even though I had spent all 9 of my tickets, I was not giving up here. I managed to save up enough for 2 more tickets, so I resumed our villager hunt. So island number 10 had Portia waiting for me. I love her, she's a good villager. And I mean, a dog is kind of closer to a cat than all the villagers we've got up until this point, but it doesn't matter how close she is not a cat. So off to island number 11 I went, and there I found Keaton the eagle villager, sadly. I felt like I was never gonna get a cat villager at this point, so I gave up on the villager hunt. I decided to go with the autofill plan and just see if we could get a cat that way. I thought that the plot would autofill the very next day, but it actually ended up taking several days to autofill. And while I was waiting, we got a campsite villager who was also not a cat. The game was taunting me at this point, like, just autofill the plot and let me see who's gonna move in. The plot did eventually sell, and when I checked the sign, I was surprised to see that Shino is the autofill villager. She's definitely not a cat, but she's one of my favorite villagers, and I was pretty excited to have her move in, even if we would have to eventually replace her. In other news, the clothing shop did in fact open, and I was able to download our road custom pathway. This is the road that I ended up going with, which you voted for in the last episode. Thank you for all the votes. I'm pretty happy that this is the winner because honestly, it was secretly my favorite. With the road pathway downloaded, I was ready to start designing some of this island, and I decided to start this week with the entrance to Meowopolis. I started with laying out the road pathway, which I wanted to be directly at the entrance right when you step onto the island. I think this is gonna really help it feel like a real city. The pathway I'm using comes with sidewalk designs that take up 2 blocks on either side of the road, which is already 3 blocks wide itself, so the entire road is 7 blocks total wide. Yeah, it takes up a lot of space and honestly a long time to place, so I decided to place enough just to cover the main entrance area. I don't have a great variety of items since I'm not time traveling or using treasure islands, and because my storage situation is so out of control, I have no room in my storage. I'm having to place items in piles around the island. It's hard to even know what I have and where it is. So the decorations that I used here at the island's entrance will likely change over time, but I think that they still worked pretty well, and I'm really happy with how this entrance is looking so far. I plan to add some terraforming around here soon too, so that it's not just super flat, but I decided that this was all that I'm gonna do this week. The rest of week 7 was filled with the mundane daily chores that fill every week: fishing, earning bells, digging up fossils, just overall maintaining the island. I've been really enjoying the slow-paced gameplay, but I am also working on my kidcore island at the same time, so be sure to check out those episodes if you want to see some more fast-paced island design and building. After decorating the entrance some more, I was feeling super excited about building on my island, so of course I started week 8 with some more island design. I wanted to work more near the entrance and kind of around my plaza. First, I moved the Nook's Cranny to a different location because I needed to make room for the road to go through here, and while I was waiting for that construction to finish, I decided to work on extending the road pathway over here on this right side. It's a small space back here that just leads to the tiny beach area and this river. I extended my road up until this point, but the rest of this area was too small to fit the entire 7-block wide road, so I needed to improvise. I wanted a bridge to go over the river, so I needed a pathway to get us to the bridge. Since my island is going to be city themed, I don't want there to be any places where you can walk on grass unless it's a park or like a dedicated area. I decided to use this cute flowery design to pave a walkway from the road to the spot where I placed a bridge going across the river. I went with the iron bridge and I'm really excited about that. I never use this bridge. I've always wanted to, but I never do. I'm not exactly sure when we'll actually see the bridge though, because I don't know how long it's going to take to pay this thing off. I have a major storage issue on my island right now. There's growing piles of items everywhere and materials starting to build up in multiple locations. So my first focus is paying down my home loans, but maybe we'll see the bridge come to life in month 3. Another highlight from week 8 was giving Hans a pink maid dress. Yes, you needed to see that. You're welcome. Of course, the shop eventually was out of the way, so I did some more decorating over where it used to be. I extended the road pathway from the entrance and planned on connecting it to the plaza. The issue here though is that there's no way this 7-block wide road would center with the plaza, so I was not about to lead it up to the plaza and have this like awkward asymmetrical street. I feel like it would just ruin the vibe. I needed to improvise with the path yet again, so this time I went with another custom design that looks like little hearts, and I made a walkway connecting our street to the plaza. I even placed a pergola item and some lanterns to spice it up a little bit, and I'm so impressed with how this is looking. I know the island is progressing very slowly, but that's the beauty of it. On the last day of week 8, a campsite villager came to my island, and not just any villager, it was Cookie. I love her so much. You know how much I love her. I spent so much time in this tent trying to convince Cookie to move here. I know, she's not a cat, so why would I seemingly waste so much time playing card game after card game trying to get Cookie on the island? Well, I'm just that weak for her. She is so cute. I don't care if she's gonna be temporary, and after several card games with her, I finally won and convinced her to move into Meowopolis. She asked if she could replace Nox, which worked out great for me. I said yes, and now we have a cutie pie Cookie on the island. After that, week 8 was similar to the ones before it. I spent a lot of time doing the daily chores of New Horizons, and I just let myself enjoy the process. I know, how are we gonna end month 2 still with no cat villager on Meowopolis Island? It's honestly a tragedy, but I guess that's just how things go when you're not using treasure islands or time travel. Maybe next month we'll be able to get our first cat moved into the island. Go ahead and make your guesses down below on who it'll be. My goal for next month is to just keep taking things slow and work on decorating Meowopolis and figuring out the road layout for hopefully the entire island. I also want to work on paying off home loans to upgrade my storage because, like I said, it's become a major issue for me on this island. Thank you for tuning into another monthly update here on Meowopolis. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. It helps a ton. And speaking of helping out a ton, I want to say thank you to our channel members. Y'all are amazing and I appreciate the support. And thank you for watching another video. I have some really fun Meowopolis content planned soon, so stay tuned. Have a great rest of your day, Animal Crossers. I will see you in the next one. Bye!